Today we're going to be doing a somatic meditation, and this meditation is going to be on in and out, peekaboo, hide and seek. There you are, there you're not. And this is coming from a mystical experience that I had in the past week, and I want to see and explore and play and share how this can show up in the body and how this directly relates to your life and how consciousness works. So, just a little thing. For those of you just joining, once again, my name is Andrew Daniel, and I am the director at the Center for Somatic Development and the author of this book, Awaken to Your True Self. So what is Somatics? So Somatics is a philosophy, a methodology, a healing approach to transformation and high functionality, where we use video, movement, and feeling and feedback to help you see all of the unconscious archetypes, stories, mythologies, patterns, blocks, shadow material, trauma, dysfunctions in your own body. So we have clients and participants move, whether it's through dancing, handshaking, walking on a slack line, or one of the other dozens and dozens and dozens of diagnostics that we have. Then we film that, and then we play that recording back of you or the group doing the movements, and then you get feedback by myself or facilitators or other participants about what gets revealed, what data comes out from your body that reveals what's happening not only internally through your emotions, your mind, your perspective, your worldview, your energy, but also your manifestations in life, your results in life. So how you do one thing is how you do anything. And the way you show up in your body reveals the way you show up in your life. And how you show up in your life is going to be how you show up in your body. It is very advanced, very confronting, but it is one of the single most powerful and cutting-edge approaches that we have currently right now as humans to look at ourselves, to, as the ancient mystery schools say, know thyself. And what we're going to be doing today in this somatic meditation of hide and seek, in and out, off and on, is that process of knowing thyself. And this is how we know ourselves when we are just one. Now, we are all one, and it's beyond our comprehension here right now, but also when we are as one, as a singular one, compared to as the all one. And so what I mean by that is, well, how do we know ourselves if ourselves is all that there is? Well, that's why we have separation. That's why we have boundaries. That's why there's a you and a me and a her and a him and an it and a being and a plant and all of this stuff. That is how we know ourselves, through reflection, an inner reflection or an outer reflection. And cinesomatics and somatic meditation is a way to do that through movement, through the body, to see the body as a reflection of what's going on up here and out there, and also the video as a literal reflection, as a flawless reflection of ourselves and how we show up. And so having that external mirror allows us to see past our filters, our blind spots, our conditionings, our distortions, when we have a mirror and a feedback mechanism. And that could be just simply seeing it. Sometimes we're close enough that we can break through our filters just by the reflection. But oftentimes we need facilitation. We need feedback. We need somebody who is not ran by that same filter, by that same distortion, to show us what we are doing. And throughout history, we have simply had to believe and trust a guru, a therapist, an expert, a doctor, a coach, whatever it is, or look at the results in our life to say, hey, I think I'm very wealthy, but how come I have $5 in my bank account? There's something going on there. Or I think I have wonderful relationships, but how come everybody leaves me? Oh, okay. Now we have technology that is a huge blessing that can allow us to accelerate that process, that can turbo, nuclear, quantum charge it. And we're able to help people and get them results that normally would take a decade in just a few months. And so if this is interesting to you, you can check out cinasomatics.org. You can visit my website, see what a bunch of other people say, results they've gotten, and lots of free videos and teaching material for you to find a new way to see life. All right, so this is the fundamental gist of what cinesomatics is, and it is the base of our somatic meditation. So I'm going to pour a little glass of water here, and if you have any questions, you can type them in to the chat, or any comments, or anything you want, really, as long as it's relevant. All right, so what are we going to be doing today? Somatic meditation. Well, let's start off with what traditional meditation is. Oftentimes, in the West, we see meditation in two different ways. One is a meditation on something, right? We go into the subconscious with a sort of fish hook. We go fishing into our subconscious, into the field, into a book, into a realm of something, and we come back with a fish. We come back with an insight. We come back with an epiphany. We come back with enlightenment. We come back with an awakening. We come back with information, ideas, creativity. The second perspective and approach to meditation is a quieting, is a stilling of the mind. It's a stopping of the mind, usually by focusing on stopping of the mind. And you are here, so you typically would know a lot of this already. But the thing that makes somatic meditation different is that we, instead of using the mind to do those two things, we are using the body. So we can use the body to explore and know thyself and go fishing, so to speak. And we can also use the body to get out of the head and get out of the mind and get into our bodies, into the moment, into the now, into the present, and start feeling. So you can think of it in this difference. The traditional approach is using the mind to stop the mind, which is akin to using the ego to kill the ego. And somatic meditation uses the body to stop the mind, to get out of the mind. So rather than focusing on mind or focusing on no mind, we are focusing on the body. And so there's also a emphasis on feeling versus thinking or not thinking. So rather than just trying to think about not thinking and judging our thoughts and trying not to think, instead we just move our focus altogether onto feeling, onto the emotional body, onto the energetic and physical. So those are the two primary differences between a traditional meditation, whether it's by yourself, in a group, guided, what have you, and somatic meditation. Is this making sense? Leave me some emojis. Leave me your favorite emoji if this makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know real quick. And then we will get into today's practice. And for those of you, this is like your 8th time here. Thanks for your grace and patience while I explain some of this stuff to the new people. Maybe there's a little gem in there. You hear it differently each time. Try to keep it somewhat interesting. All right. So what we're going to be doing today is a somatic meditation on in and out, hide and seek, back and forth, off and on, ones and zeros, yin and yang, here and there. Certain way to say would be duality, polarity. That's one game to play with this concept. I had this experience, this mystical experience, and it became very clear to me, this game of ding dong, of hide and seek, of peekaboo, of off and on, and all of the different facets that we play this game in life. And so I would like to, for myself and for you, to explore this. And so I'm actually going to be partaking in this one with you guys today, to a certain extent. And you can be sitting, you can be standing, you can be lying. This is going to be a bit of a free-for-all in how you want to explore this. All right, so we're going to go, I don't know, maybe however long we're going to go. I'm thinking maybe 15 minutes or so in the meditation. And then afterwards, we will end the meditation with Q&As and discussions. So please stick around for those, as it is clear after doing this many, many times that a huge bulk of the value from these sessions and calls show up in the end as everybody's sharing and I'm explaining or answering questions or going deeper after the practice. All right? You all ready for this? Okay, so let's start the meditation with 3 breaths. We're going to breathe in through our nose, hold, out through the mouth 3 times for no special reason. Here we go. Excellent. I'm going to turn something off real quick here. All right. So let's begin by centering, grounding. bring your attention, bring your awareness down and down and down. Feel your body from your head down your face, your nose, your lips, your chin, your neck. And you can do this with simple consciousness, conscious awareness, or you can do it with gentle movement. Shoulders, chest, arms, biceps, triceps, forearms, wrists, knuckles, fingers, fingertips. Just feel your fingertips. Give them a little wiggle. Feel the space around your fingertips. The air, the breath of life. Feel your torso. Feel your butt. Feel your pelvis, your groin, your hips, your thighs, your legs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, top of your feet, the bottom of your feet, and your toes. Feel the tips of your toes. Give your toes a little wiggle. Feel them on the earth, or in your shoes, in your socks, on your bed, on the bus, wherever you're at. And shift your processing from thinking to feeling. Shift your interface with life and the world from your heady thinking to your somatic feeling, your bodily feeling. In our Western world, for so long, people have relied on superstition and hysteria and dysregulated emotions and fantasy. And then the Enlightenment comes along and we start using reason and thinking and science and methodology. And we move out of the Dark Ages. And then the masculine left brain, ego-centric way of life brought us so much riches and abundance and health and success and technology that it has judged and usurped the intuitive, the feminine, the feeling, the yin in the world and within ourselves. It's time to integrate both. It's time to reclaim a functional way of feeling through the world, not a hysterical, dramatic, noisy, emotionally reactive way, but a genuine, authentic, highly functional, intuitive, feeling way of moving through the world that is also in relationship with critical thinking and logical, rational ways of being. Our work here is an integration of both. But for many of us, for so long, we've been one or the other. So it takes some effort and focus and energy to harmonize both of them. If you look out into the world, you will see there's a war against men and women. Well, there's now a literal war against being a man or a woman. But there's also a genuine battle of the sexes, men versus women, the masculine versus the feminine, the arts versus the science. And it's a bunch of nonsense. It's both. It literally is cuckoo bananas to think it's an either or. We have both within us. We require both in all of consciousness and existence. And if you or a society or culture is out of relationship or at war with one of the yin or the yang or the masculine or feminine approaches to life, or the beings themselves, there will be disease. There will be war. I promise you. And so today, in our meditation, what we are going to be exploring is this fundamental duality, this fundamental on and off, yin and yang, squeeze, relax, hard, soft, here, there. So feeling the centeredness in your body, what we're going to do is play. We're going to play in as many variations of this concept that you can find in your body. And so from now to the end of the meditation, you are free to tune me out or to follow my guidance and suggestions. But all we're going to do is play with this concept in our body, with our bodies, through movement. And I will start off with a few examples, and we can do a few of these together. And then you are free to play, explore yourself. All right? So, I'm just going to go with the first things that come to my mind, right? Clench, closed, open. Closed, open. And so what you don't want to do is just check a box. Say, okay, found one, next. What you want to do is feel. What is this feeling? What is the feeling of being open versus closed? This is where the value is going to be, guys. You want to move this past concepts, and you want to feel this in your body. What is the feeling, the underlining, symbolic, archetypical energy in being closed and open? And how does this affect your life? So don't worry too much about the consequences of this, because you can get in your head. We'll talk about that later. But just feel into the difference. What is life like when you live like this versus life when you live like this? No good or bad, no right or wrong. We need both. We need both. Both are valuable. Both are necessary. They have their purpose. Different times, different places. And so notice any judgments. Notice any judgments. If being open, you have a judgment against it. You're afraid of it. Being closed, you have a judgment against it. Or afraid of it. Okay? We're going to do, all right, let's try this. All right, this is a wave. A wave. Find a way to make a wave with your arms, with your hands. All right, up and down. Crest, trough. Crest, trough. This is literally all of existence is a wave. try to have a wave with just a trough. It's meaningless. It's nothing. Try to have a wave with just the crest. It doesn't mean anything. It's not. It's a little. You can't. Different directions. And then even the feeling of do it, right? I can do a wave, but I can do a wave in a certain flavor. I can do a wave intensely, aggressively, scarily, or I can do it softly, gently. So now that's two, right? So we're doing two dimensions. We're doing a yin and yang of a yin movement. This is getting a little advanced, right? Okay, so now, it's getting hot in here and moving. Now, let's do a yang movement, right? Yang, what would yang be? Straight lines. Straight lines. Okay, now we can do it straight out. We can also do it in. So this is a yang movement, but coming in, which is a yin flavor. Are you guys starting to see this? How we can do a yin, a yang way, and a yang, a yin way? Okay, eyes open, eyes closed. Machine was off. Now the machine is on. That machine on is going to be on for a few minutes. I don't know if you can hear it, but the machine's on. So now we're playing the machine's on making noise game. Let me actually play the let's turn that off real quick game. Okay. Peekaboo. There I was, there I wasn't, and now I am. Back. Peekaboo. So that's perfect. So I could have been upset about that, but it was actually perfect because there I was, there I wasn't, and here I am again. This is it. This is the game. It's an eternal game of peekaboo, of hide and seek. Close your eyes, open your eyes. There everything is. Where did it all go? Is it still there? How do you know? Open. Close. On. Off. Being awake. Being asleep. Binary code, ones or zeros. So just play with this. You could do tension, tense, relax. Tense, relax. Squeeze, release. And if you pass some gas, that's okay. That's just an in and an out. It's another game of in and out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Together, apart. Together, apart. Intertwined, untwined. Interconnected, plugged in, unplugged, plugged out. Above my head, below my head. Face down, face up. Faced in, faced out. If you think about this practically, it's at the basis of everything. Touching, not touching. Touching, not touching. If you find any ones that we haven't done yet, please type them in if you want. So remember, the point of this is the feeling underneath. What is that about? How does this show up in your life? How does this make all of eternity work? All of the universe work? Extending the legs, retracting them. Okay, yep. Extending, retract. Extend, retract. Out, in. Out, in. Great. Mouth open and closed. I've been doing that a lot. Open, closed. Great. Eating, right? In, out. So are you able to see that there's a wave in all of this? That because we are in an analog reality, it's a yin and a yang. The yin and yang is curved. They're not straight, right? Because it's a wave. Right? The open and close, there's time between it. So there's something happening in between. With the wave, it just doesn't go from here, here, to here, to here. If you got rid of, oh, this is interesting. If you get rid of the distance between the top of the wave and the bottom of the wave, then you would have binary. You would have a digital world. So that's what the digital world is. It is an on and off and on, with no in between. That's the particle world, right? In physics, that's the particle world. It's physical, and that's it. But the wave is analog. And so when we see physical things in the world, it's time, reality cutting off the movement of the wave. And we're only seeing the peak or the trough of the wave into out of the quantum field into this physical place to manifest as a physical object, right? So this physical object is a point of the wave. I'm getting a little too esoteric here, but you can experience this in your body, right? There is no we're not digital. So to go out, to come in, this is a wave, right? This is a wave. It's a wave. It's just instead of looking like this, right? It looks like this. You could map this out as a wave formula. Touching, not touching, off, on, off, on. You could do it so fast to make it look instant, but it's not. Anything else? Anybody find any really cool way? Right, you can hide your face, show your face, peekaboo. Now just feel into the nature of this. Life and death. Peekaboo. Hide and seek. You're there, you're not there. Actually, you weren't there, and then you're there, and then you weren't there again. That's good. Contracted, expanded. Contracted, expanded. Right side, left side. Right side, left side. Left side, right side. Turn right, turn left. Look up, look down. One eye, the other eye. Both eyes, no eyes. Tongue out, tongue in. Elbows up, elbows down. Rotate left, rotate right. Are you guys seeing how this is everything? Alternating nostrils, all right. And so, for more advanced practice, see if you can add levels, right? Can you look up softly, up aggressively, down softly, down quick, aggressively? Right side wavy, left side stiff. Adding 2 dimensions. You start getting, I think, past 2 or 3 dimensions, you start losing track. But that's kind of what reality is. I mean, it's just countless derivatives of less or more specific yin or yang. It becomes a fractal. It becomes the left side of the right side of the right side's left side of the yin, of the yang's yin, and the yin's yang, yang, yins of the yang. Right? That gets us into each of us, into everything in life. The DNA, right? Computers. It's just all alternations. The helix, the DNA, all of it. Alternations. Waves. In, out, hide and seek. They're not there. All right, so let's wrap this up. I think that was plenty of time to explore this. We'll take 3 deep breaths and close it out. Great. Well, that concludes the meditation part. If you have to go, thank you so much for joining. Once again, my name is Andrew Daniel, the author of this book, Awaken to Your True Self, and the director at the Center for Somatic Development. Also, fun fact, an advisor at the Alan Watts organization. If you would like to stick around, we will go into some Q&A and discussion, and we can explore what all of this meant, why this was important and relevant to your life, rather than just a waste of time. So stick around, and we'll chat about it. If not, we'll see you next time. If you didn't catch this entire thing, if you came in late, or you got to go early, if you find Andrew Daniel Clips on YouTube, you'll find my second Clips and Replays channels, where I put all of these somatic meditations up in full for free on YouTube. So you can watch them at your leisure. All right. So type in the comments anything that you experienced, anything you realized, any questions you may have, specifically about how this applies to your life. Now, in cinesomatics, what we would do as a therapy is record you doing these movements, play it back, and then give you feedback on how you show up in those ways in your life. So that's a way to use this thing as a transformative tool. But here, for now, it's a way to get into the body, to connect, to slow down, to feel, to practice being present here in the now, and connected to the rhythms and the cycles of the universe. Holly says, going fast felt more like just doing a thing. Going slower allowed for more focus on the feeling and being in and with the process. Yeah, so this is one of the things that I've noticed working with clients in cinesomatics, is that it's very helpful for most people to slow down because it forces them to feel. And so many people are going fast. Why? to avoid feeling. And so they become anxious. And then they miss all of the data, and all of the love, and all of the information and lessons and wisdom and feedback found in what they're doing, in the space, in their bodies, in their life, because they're just, as you said, doing a thing. They're not actually present in feeling with what they're doing. And so they're missing all of this data, all of this information that's available to us all the time. And so by slowing down, it forces, usually, us to be more in feeling. So when I have my sort of neurotic, highly functional, high-performing executive A personality types come in, the last thing they want to do is slow down, just be and feel. But it's exactly what they need, and it is the most transformative things in their life. But it's the very thing that they're resisting and don't want to do. So great realization. There is something to that. Anybody else? You're all awfully quiet today. Hi, Maggie. You just got here. We just finished. If you find Andrew Daniel clips on YouTube, you'll catch the replay of this. So you'll be able to watch it from the beginning. But thanks for popping in. I also noticed that if I am closed in my body, I experience less, and it gives the world less ability to interact with me and impact me. Excellent. Great. You're getting all sorts of stuff from this. Great. Yeah. So closed, right? Just look at our hands. If these are closed, it means we can't receive and nobody has access, right? We can't get in. We literally, right? This is the world, right? We can't get in. You say, oh, okay. If you play the judgment game, you say, well, this is terrible, right? We want to stay open. Well, you stay open. Well, if you only ever did this, how are you ever going to hold this glass? Right? So it's not a one or the other. But we can play with it and say, okay, well, staying open. Okay, well, then this feels like vulnerability. I feel exposed. This is scary. Okay, great. Well, then this starts revealing something for you to heal. If you do like this and stay like this, okay, well, then this feels like I can't ever let go. I'm holding on to dear life. I'm afraid that if I let go, I'm going to lose everything. Dorina says, effort, exhausting, right? I'm putting so much energy into being closed off from life and the world. Right? But sometimes we're open and sometimes we close. It could literally be just going to sleep as a way to close. But that's a different context. So it's the same yin and yang principle, but it has a completely other effect to our life in a different circumstance, in a different context. Maggie says, I ask the universe every morning, how may I serve? It feels amazing. There's so much love out there. Yeah, that's a great question to ask. And so for those of us that may tend to be a bit more self-focused, that is very helpful and very powerful. Now, on the flip side, those of us who abandon ourselves, who martyr ourselves, who are people pleasers, at that current archetypical place, that question may just feel like more of the martyring and abandoning and self-betrayal. And so that question is, how can I let myself be helped? How can I let the universe help me? How can I surrender to other people's ideas and ways to help? How can I love myself? So in the therapy work, we always want to look at where the person is in what relationship, because the remedy for one could be a poison for another, and it all depends on where they're at. So, excellent question that you just shared. All right. So Teresa says, important to tune into self after opening to others, including stuff like information. Open up, give and receive, then come back. Don't forget to give self time. I haven't always given that. Yeah, so what I'm hearing is, right, it's a flow. Right? This life is doing this. It's not just doing this. It's not just doing this. It's doing this. Now, the time may be different. There may be parts of the universe that are doing this for millions of years. And we only see this, right? Like the sun. The sun is only doing this. Now, within only doing this, it's also doing this, its magnetic field and, all these other things. But simply, right, it's only on for all of our existence. But we know throughout the entire universe, suns are doing this all the time. So it's important to see the time chunking in these as well. We're on for 16 hours, then we're off for 8 hours every day. I don't know if that time was right. I think so. Sounds about right. One of the cool things, you may want to check out a past recording. I think we did one on giving and receiving, in and out, masculine, feminine. So check out that replay for something similar. Dorina says, we're on for about 80 years, then we're off. Yeah. Yeah. The concept of birth is meaningless without death. I mean, it's just, they arise mutually, right? It's the philosophy of mutual arising. There cannot be an on without an off. There cannot be a birth without death. There cannot be a yin without a yang. There cannot be an up without down. One of them without the other is meaningless, right? Good without an evil. How would you know if you're good if there's no evil? How would you know if you're evil if there's no good? How would you know if you're breaking the rules if there were no rules? We just get so caught up in thinking it's only one or the other. And only one side of those has a purpose. It is a pointless. It's like saying, oh, everybody should only face up. What? All right, you're not facing up. Oh, I got to change you, got to fix you, got to arrest you because you're not facing up. So, all right, well, we are at the end here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. A little bit different, playing around today. A little bit of a free-for-all and exploring the off and on, ins and outs, wave, peekaboo, hide and seek within our bodies. And it's everywhere. It's in everything that we do. And if you can get into relationship with both sides in as many areas of life as you can, you will have access to far greater resources. And I guarantee it will equate to you having a much more functional, better life. It just can't be any other way. When you are in alignment with the Tao, the will of God, the laws of the universe, however you want to call it, you will find life only works. Doesn't mean you only have joy. It doesn't mean you're only open all the time. But it means that you're in relationship when it's open. You're in relationship when it's closed. And that brings peace. Not necessarily 24/7 happiness. Seeking happiness will make you miserable. But it will bring peace. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Once again, my name is Andrew Daniel. I am the author of this book, Awaken to Your True Self, and the director at the Center for Somatic Development. If you like this stuff, you can sign up to take an assessment with me to explore somatics. We've got some workshops, things like that going on. You can find these replays for free up on my YouTube channel. And we'll either be back next week or the following week or sometime soon. And it was great to have all of the returning folks and meeting all of the new guys and gals. Michelle, first time. Thank you. You are welcome. Thanks for joining. We do all sorts of different stuff. So if this was kind of interesting, but not really your favorite, that's okay. Keep coming back. Go to the YouTube. I got a bunch of videos there for specific things. We did one last time on chronic suffering and pain. That's been my most popular one so far. We have a lot of people commenting on that replay that they've had spontaneous remissions and healings just from that, which is amazing and unexpected. So go check those out if you want to see the other approaches we take. It's a huge field, and this was just one way to play in it. You are welcome. How often are you live? Once a week, usually every Saturday, this time, this place. I also have a free online group with some free training in it. You go to my website, you'll see that free community where we do a weekly live Zoom call. So you can show up on video and we all discuss concepts from this book. People ask questions. It's kind of like a study group. And that's free. So you can check that out. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend.